Indivisible, European justice for all citizens, with allegiance to the citizens, one state, one heritage. We need to limit. There's nobody signed up.
Yeah, that'll be in the next one anyway.
This here one out. Approve the minutes for the previous meeting. We've got four. 1, 2, 3, 4. We've got 5 to approve.
Wait, are you on the meeting or on the public hearing?
The hearing first.
That's the one. Where's that at?
Yeah, we skipped.
Mine doesn't have it.
All right. So look at your September 8th meetings. And there's a special.
Okay, that's we won't do it.
Well, let's see, September 8th. I'm looking at the wrong thing. Look at September. I'm in the wrong place. September 8th, you got a public hearing and a regular meeting. So you start with your public hearing.
Okay, public hearing review 25-26 district budget. So
Right.
everybody's got it.
It's next to it, right?
It's this. All right. If you would take a look at top says as of September. Now what we did, you remember at your budget hearing, Dr. Hetman came in and worked with this spreadsheet. And what we're dealing with tonight is Fund 199 and the 511 fund, the debt service. 199 is this copy I gave you. Well, in fact, that's both of them. But if you look at the front page of that, the bottom line is you've got that totaled up. What's in this spreadsheet here? I want to be sure I say this. I went line by line down this thing on the details out of the system to see that all this stuff was in there. When I got through, line for line at $9 million, I was different. Let's see it. I was different by $9,000, and I can tell you where that is. That's in the payroll. When you build in a spreadsheet like that, you put in benefits and you just round off those percentages. When we put it in a payroll system for real, then it tightens it down. So your benefits are a significant amount of money, and I think that's where we'd find most of the difference. As far as line for line, I only found 2 cases of something we need to move back, but we're good. When we're that close, then I know we pretty well nailed it in here. So your revenue is projected at $10,041,695. You see that in the taxes, if you start at the top of it, you look at your taxes and you're looking at $2.5 million roughly, which is kind of in line with what happened this year. So it's not way off. Now, something we'll have to check is that when we get to the tax rate, our tax rate is not as high as it was last year. So that may have some impact on this, but we'll sort that out. And so your local revenue, taxes principally, is about $2.6 million, and then your state program is estimated at about 6.9. The line that says transportation revenue, that is a misprint. That is the on behalf, TRS on behalf business. where we collect from staff out of their checks and then send it to teacher retirement. So it's a wash. So it's a wash because it's on both sides. It shows up in revenue and it shows up on the expense side, but it doesn't mean that you got 360 or whatever that is, $366,000 to go spend. That's not what that means. But like I say, it's on the expenditure side as well. And then on the expenditure side, on third page, you see the expenditures are totaling 9,739,396. So that's within your $10 million revenue. Yes, your expenditures are at 9.7. Your revenue is at 10 million in this estimate, the way this budget's built. And that's it. This is exactly what was presented to you in the workshop. We're in a position because of the delay in posting our meeting. We sent the notice in on time, but they didn't get it. And so it didn't get posted. So we had to repost. And then you have to have 10 days, before you can do anything. So that drives your calendar. And what that did was drive us from having an August meeting to coming back and having a September meeting. Well, you can't expend before the budget's approved. So we've got to approve a budget so we can make payroll and pay bills. But I'll tell you this, we'll tear into this thing as the state settles its numbers over the next month to 6 weeks from last year, and they base estimates then for the new year. And we get a good look at that. We'll be back with amendments to clean up. If we need to clean up anything, we'll bring that right back in, straighten it out. What we don't want to do is sit here and say, okay, oh great, we're gonna go spend $9.7 million and find out we're not gonna get $9.7 million. We don't want to do that. And that's one thing positive about this last year that your group did, and we'll get to that in a minute. But they held on their expenditures. They didn't spend everything just because it's on there, and that's great. It's a good thing. And so, anyway, that's where we are with the budget, and then as just exactly from the detail that y'all got the last time, and then on our tax rate, again, what you were given before, we're M&O at 7705 and the INS on debt at 123,224. Basically 77 cents and 12 cents are the two tax rates. And to help drive this thing, we have to collect at a certain level and do our part. The state will pull out on us. So it's not a lot to talk about there. But anyway, if anybody's got any questions or thoughts about it.
If the state lives up to their obligation, we'll be fine.
Yeah, we're not going out of business. Now I'm not going to tell you that we won't be back in October or November saying, man, we got to peel this thing from, we got to get tight again. I expect that to happen really. Mm-hmm. But the state promised, and this is built on a lot of what the state promised during the session, all the talk about, well, we're going to do this and we're going to do that. Let's see, 48 years, that's 24 legislative sessions. It doesn't matter what they talk about. It only matters once they shut it down. What law did they pass? What was funded? At the end of the day, what did they do? That's the only thing that matters. And that's what we're trying to nail down. And it's never exactly what you thought it would be. It never is. So if we have to come back and say some of these numbers are different, that's not unusual.
So
it is what it is.
Numbers are already calculating all the raises that we approved.
This
No.
include, yep, this is inclusive of everything that you said, Miss Becky. You pitch in and Something you need to add here? On that point, if you do snap to something that needs correcting or adding to, just interrupt. Don't be polite. You won't hurt my feelings.
And then you said the transportation thing, that's,
It's not labeled correctly.
okay, so it
It's just-
truly is a typo, like
Yeah.
it's not like.
Now, you had but that was on federal money though. We had a transportation line, but that was on that bus business, but that's in a different place. That's not in.
So do we need to do anything before we approve it or leave it
Well,
just like that and we do it?
We need to approve it just like it is.
Okay.
And then the only thing that I think will change on us is what settles out to be the revenue we can really expect. And if that causes us to have to tighten up, then we will. And probably will. But
You really expect in October we will have some amendments. Likely.
I figure in October we'll have amendments. Having this meeting later tonight, there's really not a need to come back with another meeting this month.
Right.
So that'll give us a little time to operate.
Okay, so is that it as far as what you have to say?
That's really it, unless somebody's got questions.
Basically, we're just going to adjourn the meeting, go back into the regular session.
And
Correct.
I'll tell you what, yeah, but don't call it to order until 6:45. And it's 6:43 right now.
Okay, motion to adjourn the meeting at 6:43. We'll take a 2-minute out. Bobby made a motion.
I'll second it.
Kara seconded. All in favor? Motion carried.
Is that down?
Okay, just from formality reasons, I would just call order. Declare quorum still with Farah, Bobby Joe, Michael, and myself. It is 6:45. We've already did the pledge and the prayer. We're going to go to the approve the minutes. We have no public speaking. No one is here. We do have July the 10th, July the 24th, August the 4th, and August the 8th, and August the 14th as far as minutes that some reason did not get approved, it looks like. That's the reason they're on here. So just want to say, if y'all had a chance to look at them. I want to give me any discussion. Y'all want to give me a motion to.
Make the motion to approve the minutes.
No discussion. Approved. Motion carried. Budget amendment.
Okay, the paper that I just handed you, that's a misnomer. I didn't mean to make that an action item. This is information. This is the year ended August 31st. And after August 31st, you cannot take any more action on that budget. It's over. But I wanted to point out on this budget that on the revenue, the very first page, we've got revenue estimated at $9,179,000. You look over here at realized to date, we've got revenue at 8.654. We're short $500,000. Okay. Now look back up at your property tax. Property tax was put in estimated 2.7. It came in 2.5. And you see there's a balance there. We did not collect $200,000. And like I said, that's over with. It's a fact. And then on the next, a couple of lines, look down at state. It looks like it says straight across from state per capita foundation revenue, and you see 5,656,000 estimated, and you see 5,243,000 received. we're short $400,000 there. Now, looking at our actual attendance, contact hours, tax collections, all those factors in the formulas, it appears that we may get another 200,000 as the state settles up. So in October, when they come out with their adding their, I should have sat over there and talked to
You're fine. It's not bothering me.
you. When they come out in October with their numbers, that's when they get the teams data from us from the previous year posted into their system. And then we see what they're really going to do. Right now, they're showing us short, but shorter than this, but they don't have our student count right yet. And so that's going to make a difference. So the bottom line of this is, if you look at the very bottom down there, we've got 8.6 realized revenue in that right hand column out there, or next to the right. We got 8.654 in revenue. Maybe we get a couple of hundred more, so we could get up to 8.85, something like that. Now then, let's find on page 3 expenditures to date. They were estimated at almost 9.3. They're at 9,043,000 in fact. So there's about $230,000 that everybody didn't spend. In fact, there it is to the far right, $235,000 that we planned to spend that we didn't spend. Okay, so that's good. But 9.043 is more than 8.8 or 9. You see? So at the end of the day, we're going to wind up hitting fund balance for that difference. Somewhere between $100,000 and $200,000, depending on what the state does for us. So that's where we wind up. And I've heard all kind of numbers, but I've been through this and over this and over this, looking for it. And there's not much wiggle room on what's wrapped up. So that's what I expect to happen when we get our audit, whenever that is, up in November, December, whenever they get through with us.
Okay, good. I know gut feeling. Fund balance. I know I asked earlier about years ago. Fund balance to this date is, I've got it in this pack here.
Just a second, I got you right here. Here's what your audit gave you. August 31st. This August 31st, a year ago. You started school, and this is in 199, the general fund. $3,061,000. And in case anybody's interested, here is the year before that. $3,729,000. So a little over $3 million is where you're sitting with audit. Now, after this round, that one may turn into 2.8.
Is that from the feds?
Pardon?
No, because that was a grant. So this is $700,000 difference in those 2 years.
Uh-huh.
So it's all from estimated revenue versus realized revenue.
So we went into fund balance for 700,000 the year before that, or am I misunderstanding? What
You actually
way positive 700?
no. No. All right.
Yeah.
All right. You had August 31 of 23. Okay. Your revenue in that general fund was 8.5. You spent 9.8. You hit your fund balance almost 1.3. Now they were able to find insurance proceeds of $800,000 that helped you. So instead of hitting your fund balance, for 1.2, you only hit it for 900, 865. You see, so you went from 4.590 to 3.7 that year,
Y'all remember that? I don't
August
remember.
of 23, 22, 23.
I know we bought the fences in 1 year, but we got grant money to refund it, didn't we? Like,
Yeah, we got our money back.
so
700.
it was like 500 or something.
500,000. But we got $200,000.
Yeah, but like if it showed it as spending it,
I don't think it would show on that.
I don't know what year that was.
No, it wouldn't be 199.
It wouldn't.
Yeah, switched on that. It would be 199 for it. I think some of it.
Yeah, but
That's why I was.
Well, you have other sources here. Insurance proceeds is how it's labeled. I don't know what
Probably.
that was 22, 23.
so we went into fund balance. How much? 1 point.
You actually you went into fund balance a net of 862,000. So you wind up at 3.7. All right.
That's 23.
That's August of 23. All right. And
Era.
huh?
No, I'm just telling her. Just think of the era. I mean,
The ERA. Era.
yes,
Yeah,
just think of
okay.
the era. Those were all of our improvements. Yes, we did.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. So then for 23, 24, we start with that 3.7.
Okay.
And we go from 3,729 to 3,061. So you got hit for right at 700,000. If you hadn't had this other insurance proceed, you'd have got hit for 1.3. So the actual operating expenditure over revenue that year was 1.3 to the negative. More spending than money.
Yeah.
All that
I'm just
cascaded.
wondering how this was presented to us that we didn't know that was like I was there, confused with myself right now. It's definitely that. Okay.
I had 200,000 short on local tax revenue. Although you're not going to be able to fix it on this budget, that money still has a possibility of coming in.
That money is still owed.
Yeah.
And so you will collect some of that, in the coming year. So every year on your get it out here. We don't delineate it there, but that where it says local real property taxes at 2.5 million on this new budget. All right, that's going to include, when it's broken out, that includes penalty and interest in prior years. So you're estimating that whole thing, and that part's a pure estimate. So I'm not looking for a number from taxes any bigger than that one as a total,
Right.
Okay.
And that's one of the things that happens in all of this is that you can get information where you'll get, and this will be on state funding too, where you'll get a total of something, and then they start breaking it down below in different formulas. You don't get to add all that. They're just saying out of this, it broke down this way. Well, if somebody adds it accidentally, it's easy to get thrown off a little bit. And so I've been in this thing just about every day at some point in time. I don't sit there and look at it all day, go blind. But what worries me, and then I set it aside and go on and do something else and either come back that day or come back the next day. because I keep looking for every opportunity. I've talked to business managers around that have been in it every day. I've been out 3 years. They haven't. What is coming that I don't know about? I know how to run the system. What's coming that out of that legislature that they know about that I don't? I haven't found it yet. So I
So,
think we've got it pretty well identified.
I mean, even up to the workshop, like we were thinking we were going to be positive. Is there a reason why I mean, like,
To be honest, and I'm just saying to throw that in.
No.
He just handles most of that stuff, you know.
Right.
The part that I did with the template was more of the expenditure part and some of the penny stuff.
Right.
Is super confusing. But I know he worked with a business manager, a neighboring business manager to plug in revenues and stuff. So I really don't know how he came with all the numbers because I'm just in it all
Right.
that, you know.
Yeah.
So I can't really answer that.
Mhm.
All I know is what we can see, you know. And
Right.
See, you had Moat and Casey run from the end of May, early June. Well, things changed after that. And then when you come in, I always run Omar Garcia's. I have for 40 years run Omar's template. The state runs Omar's template. And that's to me, it's the only one that matters. The others are good resources just to bounce it off each other. And the Omar's template did not generate what Moat did, but we're a little above what Moat generated. But again, he generated back, the last one they had was in late May, early June. Well, the session wasn't over. Things happened after that, so other things come down the pike that say, oh, we're going to get this and oh, we're going to get that. Maybe we did, maybe we didn't. I'm not going to go down the path of saying, oh, Don screwed up.
No, I
That's not what we're dealing with. We're dealing with a complex system. It happens once a year, and you're miserable for the summer and until it's over on a legislative session, and then you're done with it for 2 years, and that's just how it is. But at least I'm miserable with it because it's hard to get your thumb on it.
You have any more discussion? I entertain a motion to approve the 2025-26 budget.
Is that an action item? I thought you said it wasn't.
No,
The budget's an action item. That amended budget was not.
Oh, okay.
That one's taped. That one we just taped.
Okay, I'll make one.
All in favor?
Huh?
All in favor. Motion passed. Okay, action, consider the tax rate.
I'll make the motion. You
Yeah.
already said it all good.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but I didn't know.
Already stated it.
You want anything else to say about it?
Let me state it.
For the,
We're recording, right?
right.
Okay, let me go ahead and say it again. For maintenance operation, the proposed tax rate is 0.770500. For INS, it is 0.123224.
I'll make the motion.
I'll second.
Fair enough. All in favor? Motion passed.
We don't get to sign it tonight. No, because it's Joe Cotton and Debbie Steele. We'll catch up with them.
Consider the Hardin County Extension Agreement, just like that.
Okay, I about let that slip up on me, but what it amounts to is our Hardin County Extension agents. We have an agreement, to be renewed, but we always run an agreement for adjunct faculty which indicates that we get service, but we don't pay a salary, we don't contribute to the salary. That's the agreement. And then they have the resolution that goes with it about extracurricular status of 4-H. And that's extending that. It's probably every year or years along.
Entertain a motion for the Hardin County Extension Director. Michael. Bobby Joe. All in favor? Motion passed. Action with the MOU safety reunification of Hardin Jefferson ISD.
Okay.
Usually has who has it. That's the reason I'm looking at y'all funny.
Yeah. I'm gonna hand it to you. You already have this paper exists already. But the problem is it was never approved by the board. And all it is in the state safety plan. You have to have a place to go if you have to evacuate. Let's say we got to load up and leave this place. Where are we going? Well, you got several agreements around about this and that, and the one with Hardin Jefferson with another school district, as you can see, it says we're going, if we go that way, we can go to the gym. Yeah, there it is in the recitals. The high school gym at that location. And they're agreeable. I've already talked to them. They're agreeable. We just need to act on it. And so it's just to make it official. And they're not charging us anything.
That was my question.
I could just feel it. I knew it was coming. Yeah.
I'll make a motion.
Michael. Tina, the for contract.
We can table that baby because we finally found the agreement. The state sets up the biennium that we have to go by, and you can do 2-year contracts. So our contract ended on the 31st. And when I came in, right from the get-go, we had a little bit of discussion about, well, we won't stay with them or go out for bid like next spring or something. Well, contract's up now. If we were going to do that, we'd have done it sooner. So we don't have a choice now. We're with them. We're into the new year. And the fact is, you'd already done it when was that? You remember?
The end date?
No, when they actually did it. On the 14th. So for y'all, it hadn't been that long ago. So we can table that. You don't have to do a thing.
Again, table number 11, action consider the EIC class ranking.
And that's me.
Is that?
That's we talked about the last board meeting I was at, where we talked a little bit about class ranking and the GPA standard, where all of our dual credit classes, if you make from a 69 to a 60, that's passing in dual credit in college. Okay, but we stopped giving grade point values at 70. So even though that they pass the class and they receive credit for that class, they don't get any GPA grade points from that 60 to 69. And we were wanting to just continue that through where they were posted at.
GPA, what's their GPA? How does it run now? What's your, you're on 4 point, 5 point?
We're at a 6, 5, and 4.
6, 5, 4. So this would add 3. Is that what you're saying?
No, see, okay, so did y'all get a copy of that? Okay. So if you look at, can I look at yours real quick? If you look at, let's just say table 6 at the 6.0. The 6.0 ends the GPA at 3.0, grade point values at 70, at the grade of 70, and that's our college level classes. We do have.
How many grade points do they get for that? Or 70?
3,
Three.
right?
Okay.
But we wanted to continue, 2.9 for a 69.
Okay, so you're gonna take it down, not to
2.8
three,
for a
but to two.
68,
Okay.
just keep going. I mean, for, 2.
Yeah.
On down until, as long as they pass the college course, they should get grade point values for that grade. Now, our 6.0 is all college courses that are core related. We also have a few college courses that are non-core related, and they receive a they're on the 5.0 scale. So we need to extend that one down as well for those college courses. Totally up to you guys, but right now, if they make under a 70, even though that they pass the college course, they're not getting grade point values.
So my understanding of it is they make between a 60 and 69 dual credit class, they get a grade point average of a 70, that points that correspond. That's what it says. A grade, if 69 to 70 in dual credit course shall receive high school credit, and the grade shall be converted to a 70 for the purpose of calculating class rank.
That's and I have that in yellow as a as an option.
Oh, that's not the change.
That's not the change.
I thought the yellows was the changes.
That is an option. I put the stuff that is an option to add in there. There are 2 different ways schools are doing it. Number one is if you make between a 60 and a 69, they're just going to convert that, and everybody gets a 70.
Mm-hmm.
Like a 70. Not that your grade on your transcript is going to say 70, but the GPA value that you earn is going to be at a 70 level, 3 points. All right. But is that fair for the kid that made a 70, a 3.0 true, or a kid that makes a 60?
Do you
convert it up?
Do you if a kid's, you got 2 kids, one of them's taking a high level science class here at the location on campus,
Mm-hmm.
and another one's taking a college level science class, and they both make A's.
Mm-hmm.
They both get the same number of grade points.
Yeah. The college level science class would be on the 6.0 scale, and the high school level science class, if it is an AP class, which we don't have AP here.
But if you had it,
But if it's an honors class, it would be a
5 point. Oh, okay, I got you.
So currently, our grading it doesn't address below a 69.
No, for college level classes.
Exactly, because I can't find it, so I'm asking. Exactly how's it going to read that we're going to continue? 70, 69 is going to be. We're just going to extend.
It's just going to continue down.
It's just going to extend it.
2.9 would be a 69. 2.8 would be a 68. So forth. And then on the 5.0 scale, it would be that 1.9 would be a 69, 1.8 would be a 68. On down until it's a 68.
So it's just going to extend that graph.
Mm-hmm.
That graph.
Then, in addition to that, I don't know, this should be a discussion item and not an action item. Is that correct? Or does it say action item? Well, I'm just saying.
Yeah, this year it says a action consider.
Okay. Well, we talked about it last time too, but we wanted Farrah to be here, I believe, to listen to all this as well. But another thing that was on the item is that
Page 3.
Page 3, where it says that walking rank. When we were talking about walking rank, it's a hardship for us when we wait until dual credit classes post their grades. A lot of times that is like May 20th, May 22nd, depending on when the weekend is, and our graduation is 7 days later. And our valedictorian, our salutatorian, they don't know, where they lie in that ranking until 7 days before graduation. They don't get to take their senior pictures with their valedictorian, salutatorian. They don't get that in their graduation invitations. We don't get to post it in the local newspapers. forget what that one's called. No, not facility B. Right? No. The Gazette. Okay. They're calling us all the time, asking us for our salutatorian and valedictorian, and we can't even publicize that because we don't have that information until like 7 days before graduation.
Who do you get your dual credit from?
Lee College. Now, like this year, I think dual credit classes, they ended around the 18th or something like that. Was the last final examinations. And then, of course, the weekend, and then they got to post their grades in order for us to get our grades. And then we're graduating a week later.
This thought process, if, I'm all about pictures, I'm about photography, I'm about honoring these children, these young people. But if they've worked 13 years to get there, what's more important, them being true valedictorians or they're getting to look good on?
Well, I'm just putting that out there. That's totally up to you guys.
Because my fear would be, what if you got two people that's close and you got in that 9 weeks, you've got valedictorian, but in 9 weeks they gave up and somebody else is really valedictorian. That would be heartbreaking.
Well,
But it's pretty common practice.
it is common practice.
In fact, places that I've dealt with dual credit have involved Lamar and Angelina, and we demanded grades as of a certain date. Where are they in your class as of this date? And we're able to set an early date, whatever it was, the end of the 5th, 6 weeks or whatever, and got the college to cooperate with us on that. What you're saying is it's a possibility, but probably a rare one, given you're not talking about your top 2 or 3 students.
Yeah, and they're not. No. Probably 2 or 3. They're not giving up. They're going forward. It is normal practice for most school districts to determine walking rank at the second to the last grading period.
So what date is that for us?
That would be after the third 9 weeks.
March 16th. March 16th. So their college classes wouldn't count at all the second semester, right? Because they wouldn't get grades till the end, till May.
Well, that depends. Like we said, we could send out a request for grades at that time.
How would that work? I mean, like, so many professors probably have their classes weighted, like certain assignments are weighted heavier, all that.
They would have to give me a grade.
So how much time do you think you need?
Well, it's not just for me. I mean, I don't care if we want to post the valedictorian and the salutatorian 2 days before graduation. It doesn't bother. I mean, you have to write the speech for them.
Well, your statement doesn't move that much anyway. Those kids already know they're speaking. Like that third one may not, but they already know they're thinking their first.
But I can't tell them. I can't announce it. I can't say it. That you are, unless it is. We determine that it's official.
How often does it change between last semester, the last 9 weeks? How much does the ranking change between the first, second, and third? How often does the third go to first? I mean, what I'm saying?
It's not very often, but I'm not going to sit here and say that it never happens.
Well, that's what I'm trying to get to.
It's not something that
I know they're like
that happens.
0.001 difference, and
sometimes there's very little difference.
Yeah.
But whenever you get up there to that first and second rank, they're all taking college courses. They're all doing these things, and it's gonna take something a little bit huge in order for that to flip.
I guess my concern is it's all about the students,
right?
And when you work your butt off your entire life up to that point, and at this point in the year, I was 0.1 off, but I worked my tail off for that class because I knew that you graduate, you are technically the valedictorian, but you don't get to be that prestigious spot on the stage. That's my concern.
To make sure that, I mean, put that out here, and I'm telling you, we do not have to do an action item today. You know, it can be a discussion, y'all can talk about it, you can think about it. And the reason I'm also saying that is because the state of Texas has also put in the legislature is redoing the grade point calculation. All right, to make it a statewide for everybody in the state to be on the same. Okay, and they're supposed to be discussing that in detail in October. It's already passed, you know, but the discussion and the cleaning that up will happen in October. Okay, and so we can, you know, I started this before they initiated that, but that is some of the difficulties. I mean, kids have asked me, parents have asked me, so I thought I'd bring it to you guys.
One other thing about that is if they know, hey, it's the end of you're on 9 weeks, and that makes that I'm accustomed to 6 weeks, and that throws it off a little.
Secondary.
But regardless, if they know ahead of time, right, this year, it matters as of whatever that date in March was. They'll work to that.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, they'll.
And this is just walking. When it comes down to their
Scholarships and stuff.
yeah,
It'll
all
still
the,
be
what's
first.
it called?
So for that part,
the scholarship
Ranking.
This doesn't affect scholarships. What it will affect, and this is in every school district, when we determine who our top graduate is, let's just say we name our valedictorian.
Right.
Let's just say they do flip. All right. Our valedictorian is our valedictorian. That's our highest
That's who
ranking.
flipped, or that's who we
If
chose
they-
back 9 weeks ago.
That's who it's going
Yeah,
to
who
be.
you name it is it. Period.
That's who gets the honor of being the highest ranking.
Whether they are or not. I don't like that.
But if they flip, they flip.
Okay.
However, on their transcript, it will show that this other student was number 1 and this one was number 2. But we have to declare that this one is the highest ranking.
The
On the
state,
transcript, it's going to say they're the valedictorian.
No, I won't say that. I
Oh,
will say that they're ranked number 1.
top ranking.
yeah, yeah. Well, that's what I mean. I mean, they're ranked
They
number
just won't
one.
get the honor of being called the valedictorian.
Okay, well, I don't like that. I don't want to vote on that tonight. Can we still pass it?
Okay.
But I do think that we should consider doing the GPA thing because those kids might be affected here pretty soon with that.
Yeah,
Right? I don't know how,
that's-
or even until the semester
Um,
is up.
Yeah.
With college classes.
It's the same action. I don't know how we're gonna.
Can we separate that? Or will it not go in at all till the
You
you can separate.
you just make your motion to deal with the grade points for your
I mean,
college,
I'm
for
not
your
the only
dual
person.
credit
We can
classes.
take it to a vote and you'll see where y'all stand. Like, I don't care.
No, I'm just worried about the
And we can look at that in October as well, you know. See what the state is saying about as long as we do it before the end of this semester.
It wouldn't affect anybody before then anyway. Okay. Yeah, we can table it till October then.
You know,
Question
I'd like to kind of hear, because they're saying that they're going to discuss this in October. I'd like to hear what the state is saying about making it statewide, everybody the same, because you can go to different school districts and the GPA calculation is a little different. Right? You would think it would. You would think so, and there's a lot of commonalities, but there are some differences. You know. And if we're mandated to change it based on what the state says, you might as well just follow that instead of doing it this way. Right. You know, but I just wanted to bring up the other issue because I have had students and parents tell me about that.
Thank you.
That's hard.
That's hard.
I mean, it's customary at my, y'all can look in different school districts board policies and y'all will see that same thing.
I know,
That
but I
is
like to
fine.
be art like everybody else on everything. So maybe, I don't know.
All of them, he goes back and forth.
Are y'all in favor of taking this?
Yeah, I'm good with that.
Okay, action item number 11, the EIC class ranking, we're going to table it until October. Please, ma'am. Action amend the 2025-26 district calendar. I didn't see that on here.
All right, this is actually about graduation,
Oh.
but a significant item. So, because everybody sees your calendar, and while you didn't officially say on that calendar, graduation's on the, it always is, pretty much. So we need, what we've run into is we hesitated a little bit, thinking this might change venue or whatever. And the result of that was we couldn't get anybody on the 29th, on Friday. The Jefferson we could get on the 30th for $1,603. And the other venues, we particularly the Civic Center, we look at that. They were booked up. So that was something I wanted to bring in here and discuss and let y'all tell us. We have tentatively booked the Jefferson for the 30th. And
You haven't paid a deposit though or anything.
We have not. And, so it's $1,300 for the actual venue. And then we have to have a Vermont police officer, which is $300. And a security guard. Well, they'll take the security guard off if we make him go. And,
yeah, how much you get on the 30th, buddy?
have our own. And I'm sure Burleson will be there as well, you know. So we're good with that. So I told them to take that $75 off. So, I mean, it's the same price that we've paid every year. The problem is that I was told to hold off and not reserve it because the anticipation was if we were going to change the venue or not. And by the time we started, checking that out, they were filled up, except for that Saturday night, which is it's not a big deal. It's one day. But our calendar doesn't show that, and I wanted to make sure.
Our calendar doesn't show any graduation.
I just
Right, yeah.
the 29th.
I went and looked it up. That's what I'm saying. It doesn't say it, but we need to say it.
Right.
Especially if we're changing the date. We're beyond what people expect.
I want to say our officers were today, and they were they didn't want to present to either, so they were going to come up with ideas to present to you as options for graduation. Yeah, because they didn't want to be either. The only issue I have is that if we have graduation here on campus, which I know a lot of people want that, or I think that's a great idea, which it can be. All right, Jefferson Theater holds 1,200 people, and we fill it up. We fill it up.
Standing room only.
Yes, we fill it up. So if we have it here, all right, parking's going to be ridiculous. All right, having it on the I mean, we could do it. We have to have 2 planned ceremonies because if it rains, which it's notorious about doing in May, all right, if it rains, we're going to have the primary plan and a secondary plan. The secondary plan would pretty much be in the gym or in the auditorium where each graduate can have maybe 4 people come. 2 to 4, and that's it.
I have lived through many of those, and I sure don't recommend it.
I mean, it's tough for me to say, grandparents can't come, stepmom, step-parents can't come. You see?
And if it's last minute and it rains and Aunt from Tennessee drove in, sorry,
So
you can't tell me I'm not swimming.
you were here because your son graduated with me. We graduated in the gym. I don't remember them limiting our people though. Do you?
Yeah, y'all got 10 tickets.
10. Okay, and we had about the same size class, 50.
Yes, $10.80 for a gun to keep them out of the door. Because they were
Trying to-
forcing their way in and saying, yeah, I'm getting in.
Oh, okay.
And then we had people going to the glass doors here in front and letting people in. So they were not being counted and we overwent the fire code.
See, I knew you would know. I was 18. I had no idea.
Yeah. You couldn't hear anything. I guess our sound system is better now than ours.
It's so amazing now.
But their mouths could move, but you didn't hear anything.
My fault was the seniors ultimately override what we think, and it's $1,600. If it was thousands of dollars, obviously they don't get their way. But for that cheap, I'm good either way. But that's
My officers were talking today, they had a meeting, and they're gonna come back next week with ideas that they will present to me, and then I can limit some of them and then bring them to the planning.
so. How long do we have to hold that tentative
If
spot?
somebody else speaks up, they get it.
Okay, just help me on my officers. I know you're elementary, so what is my
She's
officer?
also the senior class.
Okay, baby, I was really
The
confused
senior
here. I was trying to figure
officer.
out- okay. I was hoping that's probably what it was, but
Yes.
I just wasn't seeing you as.
My personal opinion on that, I think that if that's the case, that should be discussed and talked about in your junior year, not your senior year. Because it's really, it should be. It's not, yeah, it's time sensitive and it's not something that, it should have already been done. It's not something that needs to wait in.
Yeah,
They don't always understand.
No,
You have to reserve it.
Like,
Yeah.
they're so kids.
But it's
They
great.
thought about that.
Interested in that. I'm loving that.
Well, I
but-
can't tell them anything if they considered the school that they had to be prepared for tickets and limited people, and they were kind of against that as well. It sounds like everything around here was too. So, but I told them they have to do all their research and bring it to me within a week.
Okay,
I
question.
looked at
Since
all.
this is so much time of the essence as far as we needed to, because if we wait, we're not going to be able to have it all right. So what we'll wind up with.
Well,
right?
the calendar can be amended at any point in time. This is just about the calendar. As far as there's no action to be taken on the venue.
Right.
This is just an amendment for the
December
calendar. We
graduation.
could table that and do that any time.
How would we say we're having graduation on that day, even if it's here?
If we're gonna vote on putting graduation date Saturday, May, whatever day it is, yeah, regardless of where it's at, it will be on that day.
Or do y'all want?
Or we'll have to amend the calendar
Is it a
again.
big deal to wait till next month to add it?
No, technically, yes,
Because it's not on there yet.
we can hear them talking.
I'm saying, it doesn't matter when we amend the calendar.
I'm not. I understand that we could, this year it has to, action I have to do with the calendar and the date that we need, but I'm just saying that's still something we could act on as far as that's under the umbrella of the calendar, and we may be able, I guess that y'all want to make a decision on what.
When's the last day of school?
I'm just saying,
That is the last day.
Well, Friday, no, the 28th is the last day for students. Okay. The 29th is our convocation, last day for teachers. And that's when we usually do graduation practice and graduation at night. But, I can't do that. So it would have to be graduation practice in the morning of Saturday and then graduate in the evening of Saturday. But I went ahead because they will let us book like 2 years in advance. So I went ahead and put us in pencil on the next year's graduation too.
they want
Because
somewhere else, they need.
I didn't want it to, us to have a difficulty with this. I wanted it to be on that Friday night like you guys have had for a while. So
But like Michael said, we can just drop and decide on the day, and we can amend the calendar, and then that's the set date. It's either there or here, but on that day.
Right.
That's the.
I just know they're gonna pitch a fit if they have to go on a Saturday and they could have done it on Friday, but it doesn't matter.
Well, I just hate that.
They could just throw it in.
Jefferson book is book.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, Jefferson Davis just booked, they don't
Yeah.
have an option. Once we spend that money, we spend that.
Right. They have it in there.
So.
Nothing against the officers, but if we was to go ahead and do the Jefferson, at least we could say, okay, starting the juniors have got to make the decision for next year, and then we could do it up. But I'm whatever y'all think.
I had a senior this year, so.
So you get to say, because I did not care.
Care where he graduated, as long as he walks across it. You know, I mean, they're sentimental, maybe walking across the,
Yeah.
at the football field, but honestly, I don't care where they graduate.
They
Whatever.
won't be there in 10 years.
No.
I'm concerned about the officers taking it. It's still gonna have another venue and it's more than likely gonna be booked.
More expensive.
I don't think we're gonna be able to.
Make their credit.
So it's really like, if we have it here, we can do it on Friday. That's up to us. Are we going to try to have it here? Or are we saying,
I think we should just book the Jefferson Theater.
okay,
And I know that's gonna next down the juniors this year. Maybe we need to start putting something for them. If they're wanting to have it somewhere else, they need to make that decision now. And then we can possibly change things later, but I think like
They
Ms.
need
Lambert said.
fundraise for it and pay for it.
Yeah.
So much,
You know,
I say the exact same thing, you said it's much better.
But yeah, but
Yeah, and, we made a lot last year. So, I mean, I feel like, yeah, because some of these venues are a lot of money. And I'm like,
I like the Jefferson Theater.
I like it too. I know that the parking can be a little tedious sometimes. But the venue itself is beautiful with very little decorations necessary. And what we will spend here preparing for graduation, the overtime to set it up and the overtime to clean it up, it's going to be close.
They take care of everything. So that is perfect.
It will be close if not fit for.
I think Tony and Jacob's point was if we were going to spend the money, might as well spend it on our people, was kind of their thought process. If I don't have,
You gonna spend more than $1,600. Yeah.
Okay, y'all roll with it, how you want it, I make a motion to amend the 2025-26 district calendar.
I'll make the motion. Sure.
Amend it to what?
We are gonna amend it to, we'll have graduation on the 30th, and it will be at Jefferson Theater.
We don't have to name
no, we
I
don't.
don't
Okay.
think, yeah, that's not, it's just,
Graduation is to be held on the 30th.
But possibly Jefferson Theater, the next graduating class.
we don't have to.
Say that.
Do we? No, I'm just saying with, the Jefferson Theater, that's not choice of board, man.
Yeah,
That is,
you can
so-
name your 30th, and then you're done. Name your 30th,
Yeah.
and you're done.
Yeah.
Nobody.
Who made a motion? He seconded it.
Yes.
And I'm amending this now. I'll fix it.
But you gotta vote.
All in favor? Aye.
Motion carried.
Need to write some policy about
I should consider amendments to this district innovation plan.
Okay.
I like it.
You like it?
Yep.
Good. All right. I've got here it is. Tried to get organized a little bit.
Oh, you have them? I was like, going to pull
I
up
have
my
'em
phone because I
here.
can't.
Got me a mess going up here. Okay, as I'm indicating when I sent this out to you, this is a case. Thank goodness you're a district of innovation, because that allows you not to fall into the trap of taking policies that exist that you don't seem to be having a problem with, and then making them more complicated. Either whether they're talking about course and syllabus, we're going to post all the syllabus and the courses at the beginning of each semester. Why? If somebody walks in the door and asks for that, I bet that lady right there can gin it up or somebody can, or they'll ask it for their student. They'll ask them, and okay, well, what courses do you have at high school that my kid qualifies for? Where do they fit? They can give them that. But to have somebody stop what they're doing and post all of that every semester, keeping up with what changed and what didn't and all that. Doesn't make any sense to me. Then you got the one about the library materials. They're want to change the process and how long it takes and who all's involved in deciding what goes in your library. I can't recommend that. If you have a way not to do that, don't. And you have a way not to do that. And the grievance policy, same thing. Changes the timelines and the process by which you deal with grievance. And it lengthens the whole process. I'm right the opposite. If we got a grievance, we got a policy, get on it. Don't let that thing linger, because the further it goes, the more complicated it gets. That's just me. But I'm recommending that you use your DOI to amend these policies, to amend your DOI. All we have to do, it's not like making it from scratch. All we have to do is amend these amendments and notify TEA and it's done. That's the end of it.
I'll second.
All in favor? Motion carries.
Almost over.
Department report.
Finance.
I don't really have anything that we haven't already discussed unless you guys got questions about anything particularly.
I'm good. Good, Oliver. Fair.
So good.
Good. Maintenance and transportation.
My departments are going so well. Maintenance is phenomenal. Lawn care in a perfect world would ask for a third lawnmower. We're not at that point. I mean, it would be. They share right now one with athletics, and athletics only uses it twice a week. So I don't think we need a third one right now. We think transportation. We've submitted and had approved our route services report in October. I'll do our operations report. Not a big deal. Custodian, I lost Miss Lenny. She had to leave us, but I hired a new lady today. She started at 2 p.m. Life is good. Any questions?
Good job.
So are we good on lawnmower or is it best? We need to repair this lawnmower.
We are good. They're running. They're fine. I don't know how long that will be for the yellows.
Any more questions?
I do have a question, which is probably not in our budget right now, but can we see what concrete would cost to fix that parking lot in the back instead of putting rocks on it? Like if that's something we could look at doing. I mean, it's probably astronomical, but at least we would know.
Yes, I will get you quotes on that. We have a leak in the high school gym. It drips on the floor where the girls play volleyball. That's maybe an expensive one. I've had 2 contractors out. They're sending me bids this coming week, and I'm going to go for a third one and see. But it's, yeah. I don't know. I don't know what it's called, but there's that plastic up there. To me, is like a pool liner. You know what I'm talking about? Like that is torn in several places, so it's only going to get worse. He says it looks like it's already been not replaced but patched on the ridge line. So it may be that we may be at the point that we need a new roof, and I'm praying that that's not the case. But they're in mop that stuff.
You can float a boat with it.
I'm going to try consultation from the real estate side.
We helped with that. It is not that. It's not.
It's not a big insurance. It's more out.
It's worn out. Yeah. One of the places was over an eave, or like at an eave point where it looks like it's just rubbed for all these years, and it's just.
We did have high winds though.
That's when it happened, was during that big heavy
There we
rain.
go. You remember it? Can we do that?
Yep.
Well, they're gonna say it's $20. We'll give you $35.
Oh, you can't flex them.
That's your problem, like created,
You need to legitimate question.
Okay.
Sorry. No, I said any more
Yay!
Oh,
All right. Oh, cafeteria. Scissor up. Food has went up. Well, you know, you're buying groceries. Meat has went up. Chicken's got a union, as I guess, because cost has really. Um, we serve between 360 and 420 kids a day. We're feeding the children. We haven't had too many complaints this year. I had COVID in the cafeteria and I had to work line today. And I left an arm and broccoli fell out of my skin. We got in there, but I was still a broccoli. Um, it's going good. I didn't win the lotto.
That's sorry.
Somebody taller did.
I tried hard.
Well, I'm proud of
I spent my $10.
you. Anybody have any
I
questions?
didn't even know there was one until it was already over.
Any questions?
The cafeteria, the budget. I'm on the.
You're the reason we're in this shape. I know it. That's what's still saying all the time.
The ag to start producing the chickens and y'all.
There you go. Or we could fill up the football field and have a burden.
There you go.
Okay, that's give you the equipment and stuff.
Yeah.
Hey, we
What's
out here.
What's it called? Farm to school?
Yeah, let's.
Table. Security.
I don't have anything, that there stands out. If y'all see anything on there that you have questions, be happy to answer.
Should I be? Oh, Jan.
Hey.
It's like being the one that has to read next. You don't. So I don't have a whole lot. We are finally, I want to jinx myself. Things are finally getting to normal after the beginning of the year rush. We had our BOY testing that went beautifully this year. We're used to our schedules of doing all of that and procedures, so that went nicely. I'm just glad to breathe a little bit.
You do good there. It's something we don't have no athletic.
Thing, concerns for several buildings missing fireware. So when we conducted our first fire drill earlier this year, neither of us have been over safety in the past. It's past several years. It seems that somebody's taken that hat every different year. When we did our fire evacuation drill, come to find out that this is the only building that has any kind of fire alarms, any kind of pull stations. If you need to activate a fire alarm, those other buildings they don't have anything but well, they have fire extinguishers, but the only way they get notified if there is a fire or something is over the intercom. I've got Texas Fire coming out, looking at all the buildings. I'm almost certain there has to be multiple fire code violations for that. But we're in the process of seeing what we got to do to get all that stuff installed.
Probably grandfathered in somehow or another.
Maybe so. I know all the buildings that were built in the '60s are the ones that don't have them.
Yeah, that's kind of scary. Something to get
Yeah.
in.
Yeah. It needs to be.
All right, there's no athletics. So curriculum. Be
So for curriculum, everybody's got their Saturday's teaching, so everything's rocking and rolling in that department. TIA, we are submitting our first round of teachers for designations in October. So once we do that, then it goes to Texas Tech. They'll see if we reached our validation. They send it to TEA, who says yay or nay. So we'll find out in February whether or not those that we put in for designations actually are approved. So if they're approved, then we'll do our first payouts in August 26th. And like Jana said, we've already done our BOI testing for this year for TIA, so we're already starting the whole process of
gathering all that data for the next submission. So we are pray that it's gonna get approved. Accountability goes, we as a district received a C. So we improved from a D, so we were heading in the right direction, and I'll step on the campus's toes, so I'll let them report on their own. But as a district overall, we did reach a C, so that is better than the D that we had before. So I think things are rolling on.
Good job.
Have any questions?
That's exciting though.
Yeah. We were doing some happy dances.
Okay, anything? Secondary principal.
Oh, it's me. Thank you. All right. So, Heather did tell y'all that we, as a district, made a C. I'm super excited because my secondary is no longer in targeted improvement. I'm super excited, but I know that information had already went out to you guys. I didn't really put it on here, but what I did put on here was that, and it's on the back side of it, because we really didn't notice, we didn't know this until our science teacher brought that up. But West Hardin actually earned a distinction from TEA for our science department, so that's a big deal, and I wanted to bring that up. Also on the back, just because we're on there, cross country. Wrote something up for you guys so that he wanted to toot his little horn for and brag on our kids about their success at our cross country. He's got quite a few kids participating in cross country, and I'm super excited about that, and so is he. And they seem to be doing really well. Okay, so the front here, the format is the same that it has been all my other years. So I talk a little bit about some areas of concerns and how we are addressing that. We've got a few extra on here this year. Just wanted to let you guys know. Our secondary enrollment numbers look like they're a lot less this year, but what I wanted to tell you that last year's senior class was big. Okay, it was probably one of the bigger ones that we've had at West Hardin in a long time. So our numbers, I think there were 51, 52 graduates last year. So this year's graduating class is back down to normal, about 41, 42. So you're going to see that difference, that nine kid difference is in our senior class. Okay, so we're still moving forward. We do have some loss during our senior year when students realize that they're not going to be able to graduate with their class due to loss of credits or maybe truancy. So we're trying to improve that truancy monitoring a lot earlier and being able to communicate with those kids, communicate with these parents, and keeping them on track for graduation. So so that we don't lose kids in that area. Okay. We do have a new Spanish class. This is a new venture for us where we are doing virtual Spanish. The teachers, our Spanish 1 kids are really moving forward. They're loving their teacher. They're that virtual Spanish class. She came actually in person today, and they're loving it. The difficulty is our Spanish 2 class, just so that you guys know, because they've had Spanish 1 and they were taught here on campus and they were taught a certain way. All right. And then you got Spanish 2 that's done virtually, and so now they're seeing 2 different style teachings under one content. So they're struggling a little bit. We're trying to get them up to speed. Not a big deal. I'll let y'all know if it turns into a situation, but it's we're monitoring, we're meeting with the teachers, we're working with those students, trying to keep them on target. All right, so I have 11 new teachers, 4 new teaching assignments, okay? But in other words, I had my brothers go from the junior high math to the high school math. So that's a new teaching assignment. So out of all the teachers on my campus, there's 11 in new positions, okay? And I only have, I think, 2 brand new first year teachers, so that's a good thing too. All right, so we're monitoring. We've got them set up with some mentors that are working with them, that are answering the questions and keeping them up to date. Our new cell phone policy, new cell phone law. I'm going to tell you guys, I really expected it to be a little bit more difficult than what it actually is. Okay. We have had some issues. I mean, in the last month, we've had a month of school. We maybe have had 5 referrals for cell phone violation. You know, parents are supporting us. Parents are really working with us, and we haven't had much grief at all. Okay, and I will tell you that students are reporting. I mean, they're talking to us, and yeah, Miss Landry, they like it. You know, we're seeing them pass notes again. So they're writing. They are writing their thoughts on paper. They're communicating in class, and they are interacting with each other. I've had my teachers talk about lunchtime. You know how we've had the last few years no cell phone policy, but kids, I mean, they have it in their pockets. They're going to the bathroom. Lots of. I see a little bit less activity in that area. All right, and more communicating with each other. So just letting y'all know that change has been positive here on campus, and we hear that from the teachers, from the students, as well as the parents. Dress code changes. There's only one issue with dress code changes, and that is the leggings. Legging violations have increased. Okay, and the thing is that the kids, they hear something from one person, they hear it from another. They don't read the dress code, and they're like, "It's supposed to be right, cover my behind." That's not the dress code. The dress code is mid thigh. All right, so we're having to reiterate that. Talk about that a little bit more. But that's and I tell the kids, I'm like, "Look, we got this changed. All right, give an inch, take a mile. It can change back if it's necessary. We can say 0 leggings." So just letting you guys know that. But we're working it. We're educating the parents. Those of you who have students on campus, I sent out a parent square on Friday just to let parents know that this is an issue. So to work with us and remind them of that dress code policy. I updated you guys with special education numbers in junior high and in secondary. I wanted you guys to see, if you see 7th and 8th grade, the numbers are almost double for special education. There are 13 out of 44 students in 7th grade that are under special education. All right, that's 30% of our population. 8th grade, 12 out of 35, that's 34% of our population. That's a heavy load. All right, and if we continue to get those numbers moving up, all right, we're going to have to add some special education teachers and pairs because we have to be able to have the staff to actually teach these kiddos. If you notice that 9th grade, 10th grade, you're seeing 7th grade. I mean, 7 kids out of 41, 6 kids out of 36. So we do our best to move them around and to give them the support that they need. But our special education numbers are growing. They're growing. They're growing in the elementary as well. So it's just our times, okay? But not only that is we also have to service our students that are up under the 504 umbrella. And if you look out of our population, which is 237 kids, 43 of them are just 504 kids. All right, and that's 18% of our population on top of the special education. So, and these students have special needs and accommodations that to their instruction as well. So our teachers are working hard. When they have a classroom of kids, they have the students that are regular education, no accommodations, and they have the 504 kids in there, and they have the special education kids in there. And so our kids in one class, our teachers in one classroom are having to adjust for 3, 4, 5 different types of students in their classrooms. Okay, and it's hard. Okay, so saying that, we have our parent involvement. If you're looking at our attendance, I'm sure hoping my goal is to stay above 95 for an overall attendance rate at secondary this year. I'm hoping that that continues. We're off on a good start. Overall, we're at 95.48, and our junior high is really rocking it at 97%, you know. I'd love to keep that up there. Uh, that right there, keeping our ADA numbers and our percentage up, that's more money coming in as well. And, you know, and I know that we just had our budget hearings, but the main thing is that our kids are in the classroom and they're getting that instruction. Okay, and disciplinary numbers are down. Well, we've of course started the champs and concentrating on classroom management this year. We have been out in the hallways. We have been in the classrooms. We are really working to see that our teachers are supported as much as possible, but also the more our students see us and the enforcement of the expectations and rules, that discipline stays manageable. That's all I got. Do you have any questions for me?
Of the 16 ISS assignments, what is that for? Like, is the majority dress code violation? Is it a 10? Like, are they
Well,
targeting?
so there was another change in the law as well, where vapes are not mandatory DAP for the first offense. Okay, but it is mandatory if we don't send them to DAP that they receive 10 days in ISS. All right, and so we did have one vapor, and they received 10 days of ISS. So that's why you see 16 days of ISS already on that assignment. I've had 2 fights this year, 3 fights, 2 fights this year, and so that's 4 kids.
Okay, so that's 16 days, not
Not
students.
right, not students. It's days in there, and 7 partial days. 1 Friday school has been ordered for disciplinary purposes. We have our first Friday school this Friday, and we do have some for truancy that's already invited to come, and then this disciplinary action one as well. So trying to head it off at the very beginning. Any other questions? Okay. Elementary.
Hopefully we shared the format with super helpful, so I'm trying to go through the same thing. So as you heard, overall the district was rated as a C. Elementary was a D. We weren't really a D, called the 4D rule. So under the areas of concern, our accountability rating comes from 3 different areas. First is student achievement for elementary. That's only STAR performance for grades 3 through 6. School progress, which is made up of 2 different parts: academic growth, so how our students progress from their performance on 23-24 STAR up to 24-25 STAR. And then relative performance, which was how our EcoDis students performed on STAR as well. And then the third area is the closing the gaps, is meeting our growth targets for STAR that are set for us by TEA. So in those areas, we received 62 for student achievement, 69 for school progress, and then a 72 for closing the gaps. When you calculate those together, it generates a 69.9, which usually on a normal year would have rounded up to a C. But because the 2 prior school years we had Ds, the campus earned a student achievement scale score that is less than 70. It also earned the scale score less than 70 in at least 2 of the following domains: academic growth, relative performance, and closing the gaps. And therefore, the highest overall scale score that we could be awarded was a 69 for a D. So had we not had those 2 Ds the 2 prior years, we would have been able to claim the C, but we were not able to do that. So that kicks us into a targeted improvement plan. So we're at secondaries coming out. We're unfortunately going in, but it really does give us an opportunity to have the Region 5 Education Service Center come in. They're going to do a diagnostic visit. That's coming up on September 24th. That's where our 2 appointed liaisons from the Region Center, they come in. They are here with us all day from drop off. They're in the classrooms for observations. They observe lunch, transitions, specials, dismissal. They look at the school day as a whole. They're going to sit down with our campus leadership team as well as some teacher focus groups and have some one-on-one conversations without administration in the room over, concerns that they may have. And then we also had a large artifact submission that was required from TEA. We finished that today. It covered everything from PLC agendas, student work samples that we pull from the curriculum, lots of different areas. So all of that coupled with that diagnostic visit is going to give us a targeted overview of where they think that we could devote most of our time to make the most improvements on the campus as a whole. So the mentality that I've told our staff, we can only go up from here. And overall, we're not a D-rated campus, and we're going to make those improvements that we need to do. I did include under the how it's being addressed, just some positive changes that we've made from the campus aspect this year with scheduling. Each grade level gained back an average of 45 minutes daily of instruction time. Our PLCs or professional learning communities, those are more structured this year. They sit down with me on Mondays and Tuesdays. We do a deep dive into data that they've collected from the week prior. We've got IXL for that. We've got all of our beginning of year testing that we just finished up. So we're looking at how we can address student gaps as well as pushing our kids that are on grade level or above to further enrich their instruction. They also have a lesson planning day, and then they have a data reflection day where they have a Google form they fill out and they go in and look at the data we talked about at the beginning of the week and how they're implementing those changes in their classroom to help us meet our kids' needs. Any questions in that area? I know that was a lot that I just covered. Parent involvement, we've got a really great PTO that's come alongside us this year. They've done some great events for our teachers and for our students as well. They actually just sent me a long list of things that they're looking forward to doing for the month of September. So we've seen a positive uptick in our culture just with our kids and our staff whenever they're on campus. So we're looking forward to their continued events. We're looking at having a Parents and Grandparents Day that could couple with our book fair that's coming up in the end of October. Still working on getting the details finished up on that. And I was going to be bringing it up in our admin meeting that's coming up on Wednesday. So we'll hopefully be putting out some info about that soon. And then on the back page, enrollment, we're at 283 students. Our 9-week attendance, we're 91 or above. It is a little lower in our younger grades, but a lot of that is a lot of our kiddos, it's their first time coming to school. So they're exposed to germs and they don't know personal boundaries a lot of times. So they're swapping a lot of germs and just passing around some little normal sicknesses. So, but overall attendance is going fairly well. Discipline numbers are looking fairly well as well. We've had 15 referrals come in so far. No DAP, no ISS, 2 full day ISS, 2 partial. And then as well, the first day of Friday school is coming up on September. So we've got that going on. And then lastly, on our special recognitions, I attached another page on the back here. It just gives y'all the criteria that we put into place. We started a student of the month. So that recognizes 1 boy and 1 girl from each grade level. And this is teacher appointed. So they get together, they look over this criteria, and they let us know the kiddos that they have to appoint. We take a picture with them, give them a certificate, and give them that recognition. So we've listed those students that received it for the month of August. And then additionally, Ms. Hendricks has championed our You Being Kind awards. So she's got brag cards that she's distributed. She's given out 48 for the month of August. And that's either kiddos that she has witnessed or the teachers and staff have come to us and said, hey, these kids are going above and beyond. We really want to be able to recognize them. And they get really excited. They get to come to the office for a positive thing. So it's been a great thing to improve our student culture as well. Y'all have any questions? All right. Thank you.
Superintendent.
All of mine pretty well been said. Yeah. You can only just take so much.